So we want to get our ROI, or our return on investment, when we're working with our products for Amazon. And if you go to Google and just search those keywords, ROI formula, you'll get a list of different equations that are used. And there's a variety of things that people are checking to see what their revenues and their costs and their ROI. And so these are different ways that they've come up with and put in picture form, because I'm looking under images of ROI. I like this one to use for our demonstration, and so we're going to go there. So you can see here that I have pasted the picture of the ROI equation from Google that we're going to use into this worksheet. The ROI equals the total revenue, what you sold it for, minus the total cost, or everything it costs to buy it and sell it on Amazon. This line here is the divide line. We're going to divide this top number, what we get here, by the total cost again. So this same amount that you get here, we're going to divide by here. And then we can multiply by 100 or move our decimal over 2 places to the right. It sounds like math class again, right? In Excel, you can do your formula where it will do this percentage for you just by telling it to do the formatting in percentage, and I'll show you that when we get there. If you hover right here on the red arrow, you'll see a note, and the note is just a reminder of what the equation will look like in Excel formula. I'm just showing you the equation for line 2 in the note, and then you'll click and drag to get the results to go down the entire worksheet once you have your worksheet filled out. And then you'll do the auto sum and average to get an average on your entire inventory at once, instead of doing it piecemeal like Amazon's ROI calculator. You do one item at a time. In this, you'll do your whole worksheet, because you're going to want an average on how much money you're making with Amazon, rather than how much you're making on one item at a time. What we're going to do is, in the equation, you can see that in the first set of parentheses, D2 minus C2 minus G2 minus H2 minus I2. And that's basically, you're taking the sale price in D2 and you're subtracting the cost, the shipping, the referral fee, and any other Amazon FBA fees. Then you're taking that figure and dividing it by the cost plus shipping, referral, and Amazon other fees. You're dividing the first set of numbers by the second set, and then you can times 100, or you can click and tell Worksheet to format that cell as percentage. We have that much. If you're unfamiliar with how to get your equation to come up into your columns, I'm going to show you real quick how to do that. So we're going to click on the box where we want the answer to end up, and then we're going to go to our formula bar here, and we will put an equal sign, and then we'll start with our first parentheses, and then we said that would be the price, so we'll click in the box where the totals will be, and then we're going to subtract our cost, and we're going to subtract our shipping, and subtract referral, and subtract the FBA fees, and then we're going to close the parentheses. And then we said we would divide that by the total of what it cost us to sell. So I'll put the parentheses again, start a new set, and we'll have the cost plus the shipping plus the referral fee plus FBA fees, and then we'll close the bracket. And in the equation that's down here in our picture from Google, we can either put an asterisk, which is the time sign in Excel, 100, and that's going to give us our percentage. But I like to use the formatting the cells. That's in, so we'll hit enter, and then we can click and drag the corner, see number 2 there, So if we click here, we can drag this. Let's just drag it down to say about 20. And you can add more by just dragging in the future to add more spaces if you have more inventory. And so that's going to change the equation up here. It's going to update the line numbers. Okay. Now, if we take this whole column and left click and drag, and then right click, and we choose Format Cells, then we can come over here and say percentage. And it will do that math for us, the multiply times 100. Okay, so we're here. Now let's save this document as much as we have. And I'm going to put this document into your lesson so that you can pull it up and download it. So now I'm just going to go over to my QuickBooks, and we're going to go to Reports, and we're going to go down to List and Item Price List. And we are going to customize this report to match our Excel form. What we'll do is go into our Customize and then what we want to display, and we're going to add and take away things that we don't need. So we have the item, we need that. We're going to take out the description, and I'm just removing the check mark, okay? So we'll go down. We want the quantity on hand and the price. We're going to get going. We want the cost. We don't need preferred vendor. And then we can add the ASIN if we want, and the seller SKU. They do not affect your ROI, so you can leave them off, but if you like to have them for reference, there they are. And then referral, that's the fee, the pick and pack, and the inbound shipping. These are the custom fields that we set up, and so we'll hit enter, and you see now it changed our information. So what we'll want to do is export this to an Excel worksheet, and if you need to use Google Docs, you can again do the CSV. We talked about that in inventory, or you can just do Excel worksheet if you have an Excel program. And so here's our new worksheet that just came up, and I'm going to minimize the QuickBooks portion for a moment. Okay, so we have our template that we're going to be working on, and we have our new download from QuickBooks. We can see that the columns here closely match the ones across the top. And remember how we did our mapping in inventory? We're going to do the same thing in our QuickBooks. You can do it one of two ways, and if you choose to use the template that I've provided, you're just going to copy and paste. If you choose to do it in the Excel form that we just downloaded, you'll want to go in and edit your form, deleting any extra columns you don't need and updating your formula, because you can't sort with these in there. And if you want to sort on your form, you'll want to be able to do that by taking those out. That's why I prefer to have the template, but that's up to you. And then, so if you are going to map like I suggest, then I would go over to Item and just copy all the way down. Now there's going to be some things, and we'll take those out. These sales tax items we don't need because they're in our item list, but they're not actually inventory, and so we don't have to keep up with those. So I'm going to come down here and just take these two lines and delete them. Okay. If you have more things in there that are not inventory, then you'll want to delete those as well. And then we'll go over here and we'll just grab our cost, highlight, and we're going to copy. We'll come over to our cost and we're going to paste. And then we'll do our on hand. We want to make sure we go all the way to the top. Copy. And paste into our on hand. Okay, then we're going to, you can do the ASIN and the seller SKU, but I'm going to skip that just for sake of time right now, and I'm going to copy the price. Okay, and then we're going to skip over to our referral. Remember, these are just things that I put in as like fictitious amounts, and so they may or may not be very accurate. The pick and pack, I just made them all the same price. And then our shipping, you can see I made them all 50 cents. So you know that those fluctuate. And paste. Now if you look over, you can see the ROI has already figured on those first 20 or so that we clicked and drug down the formula. So we'll finish doing that. And there it is. Now, so it looks like we lost some money there. We have some small amounts and we have some larger amounts. And remember, I just made all those up, so they're different. And then what we would want to do is highlight all the way down. This is where I was telling you you would get an average. We'll make this big so we can see it. It kind of disappears when it's minimized. And then we're going to choose average. And average adds up all these numbers and then divides it by the number. Remember that from math class. And this gives us an average of 47.65% return on our investment, which is pretty good. 30, anything above 30 is 30 and above is doing pretty good. So we can be proud of this this Amazon demo company that we've started.